Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Akakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, while in this truth from who do well. Peace and salutation to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Unto you I say shalom. Coming to you back with another Let's Do the Spirit. And I'm entitled this one, Esau's Plan Will Be Stopped. And ultimately, who is Esau, Edom, in the scriptures, will be no other than the self-proclaimed white man. Because we see what Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, is doing up on the planet Earth, is pretty much just showing his horns and showing the entire planet Earth who he really is. Because after the whole civil rights movement and, Jake, Israel, the so-called Negroes, they got that into the whole white communities, segregation and all that. But really, that was just Esau, Edom, hiding his horns so he could avoid being exposed of who he really is, which is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Because ultimately, Esau, Edom plan is to get the birthright, which he traded for a morsel of meat. He's trying to get that birthright back by establishing immortality on the left-hand side through the means of AI, the putting all these different, electrical, mechanical parts inside your body, pretty much being like a android, a cyborg, type deal. Because what Esau, Edom is trying to do is gain that birthright back. He's trying to do with the nation of Israel. He's trying to do away with Israel, which we know he's not going to be successful in. That's why he's trying to have everybody have that RFID micro chip, which is the MOTP inside of him. That's why his plan is to ultimately enslave humanity under a digital prison, which we know that his plan is going to be established. He's going to RFID micro chip a lot of people upon the planet Earth, except for the elect. But that's when Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is going to put a stop to this devil. Because what Esau Edom wants to do, he wants a kingdom, his kingdom to go on forever, which we know is not. His kingdom is about to be out of here. But Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai still has to show his power, to show the world that, okay, look, I raised up the bases of all men, gave him the sword, gave him all these blessings, and look, he still was brought down. Because right now the world is looking at Esau, Edom as, nobody can bring him down. He can't be stopped. He's going to rule forever. But it's just a snare trap. So ultimately, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai can show the earth which ultimately the one who's really in control is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. This is Job chapter 14 and verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. And that's right. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai already set up that line on the sand where Esau even can't cross. And he's going to be able to establish his NWO. He's going to RFID micro chip, which the MOTB. He's going to put it in a lot of people. He's going to persecute the elect of the nation of Israel, the 1/3 here in America, 144,000, the large multitude of believers. He's going to put some of the elect to death for the testimony of Yahweh, being martyrs for this truth. But ultimately, we know that he's not going to be successful. He's not going to rule forever. He's not going to have immortality on the left-hand side, because really that's why he's doing everything he's doing. He's trying to get the birthright back. He's trying to do away with Jake. Because it says in the scriptures, if you could count, the stars upon the heavens, and if you could name them all by names, roughly paraphrasing, then Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai will do away with us as a nation. If you could count the grains of the sand of the sea, which we know that he's not. He already tried to explore the ocean, but we know that he's not successful. So ultimately, Yahweh Bashim Shai is just putting this devil in a snare and trap. So he could harden his heart more, puff him up more. Because like the saying is, the bigger you are, the harder you fall. And that's what's going to happen to this devil. Because once he implements, he makes it mandatory during the hour of temptation, that's when Yahweh Shai is going to come back and deliver the elect of the nation of Israel and put a stop to this devil. But it's going to seem like damn, this Esau Edom won, but for the world it's going to look like that way, but not for the elect, because the elect already have the faith, they already have the trust in Yahweh Bashim Shai that he's going to bring this devil down, and it's already written. It's already written in America, Babylon the Great to be destroyed. It's already written who's going to receive immortality, dominion upon the planet Earth forever, which is going to be the nation of Israel, not Esau Edom, not the other heathen nations. This is Psalms chapter 49 and verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names, and that's the thought of this devil, of Esau Edom, thinking that he's going to rule forever. Nobody's ever going to bring me down. I'm unstoppable. Look at me. I got the sword. I got nukes. I got bunkers. I got space, Space Force, aircrafts in the everywhere. You got these AI cameras. But that's Yahweh Bashim Shai putting a snare and trap on this devil. This is Psalms chapter 2 and verse 2. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai and his anointed, saying, verse 3, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. Verse 4, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. So that's what this devil Esau Edom thinks, along with these other heathens. They think that they're going to rule the earth for eternity. They're going to be successful in the NWO. That nobody's ever going to bring them down. That they're going to escape their faith, which is slavery. Because you have these other Israelite camps saying that all heathens aren't going to go into slavery. There's going to be a small percentage. But then why are the heathens trying so hard to escape their fate? Because these heathens, these Edomites, they know what their fate is. They know that ultimately their end is for these Edomites, is a hardcore 1,000 hardcore year, hardcore slavery, and then eradication, being done away with, like it says in Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 18. That's why they're trying so hard to offset prophecy, when really they're just helping fulfill it more and more. Yahweh Bashim Shai is laughing at these devils like, man, y'all think y'all doing something, but really y'all just helping fulfill prophecy more and more and more. Verse 5, then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure. Verse 6, yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. Verse 7, I will declare the decree. The Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai said unto me, thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. Yeah, and Yahweh Bashim Shai is about to show the world who the world is really made for. This current world is made for many. Like it says in 2 Esdras chapter 8. This current world is made for many. That's why majority of these people up on the planet Earth, they're not ready to let Babylon the Great America grow. 2/3 of our people. So that's why they're going to be willing to bow down to this devil system. They're going to get the RFID micro chip. They're going to agree with this devil, because really they our people, the 2/3, they don't see somebody else ruling. They don't see nobody other than Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man ruling upon the planet Earth. So that's why Yahweh Bashim Shai is about to put a stop to this devil. Verse 7 again, I will declare the decree, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai has said unto me, thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. Verse 8, ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. And that's who the world, that's who this universe was made for. It was made for the nation of Israel. It was made for his chosen people, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the Israelite foreigners that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Not for no damn heathens, Edomites, bases of all men, Moab, Ham. Yeah, they're going to be in the kingdom. You know, the Edomites will be in the kingdom for 1,000 years to help build it up, and then they're going to be done away with. And then the rest of these heathens, you know, the other heathen nations, they're going to be subjects under Israel, starting with Yahweh Shai and the rest of the 144,000, the 1/3, the governing body. That's who this world was made for. So ultimately, that's why Esau Edom's plan is foolish as all hell. It's not going to be successful. He's not going to get away with it. And Yahweh Bashim Shai is about to put a stop to this devil. This is Job chapter 20 and verse 23. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. And that's when Yahweh Shai is going to crack the skies. When his devil thinks that he's won, you know, he got his feet kicked up. You know, a micro RFIC hipped up the majority of the people. You know, you got these people eating crickets and roaches. You know, he's going to be like, damn, I won. But that's going to be the biggest snare trap for this devil, thinking that Yahweh Bashim Shai is not going to bring him down. You know, that's when he's going to, bust the door in. You know, like in that movie Sicario, that ending scene. You know that cartel leader. You know, he was chilling with his family. He was in the middle of nowhere in his big old mansion. You know, he had his guards. You know, you just, at that point you think that you can't be touched. You know, and he got his food ready. You know, he's about to eat with his family, and then boom, here comes the hitman, ready to do away with, you know, that cartel leader. And that's how it's going to be for Esau Edom. He's going to be chilling. He's going to think that he won, but then boom, Yahweh Shai is going to come, crack the skies. He's going to bring this devil down. He's going to destroy America by the way of intercontinental ballistic missiles, and he's going to deliver his elect. And that's who immortality, that's who the blessing is for. Complete dominion of the planet Earth, starting with Yahweh Shai and his joint heirs, 144,000, the large multitude. That's who is reserved for, the new bodies, the law, statutes, commandments written in our inward parts. Not for no damn Edomites, for no damn heathens, Hamites. No, their only fate is going to be subjection, slavery. You know, but that's pretty much the point. Praise that's just edifying to the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory that's due to Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders who praise Millstone, following this truth and who do well. Peace and salutations to the 144,000, the rest of the elect. Unto you I say shalom.